Okay, hello everybody. Mystic Rob here. I watched Nick Dutch's reply. Uh, he went over a lot of issues, and there's this one thing that was said that kind of caught me as being I don't know, maybe I've got a different I misunderstood it, but they talked about the alien experience. Not having a correlate as far as or they're not being correlating experiences. In other words, I'm not really sure exactly how it was phrased originally, but I remember Nick saying something like, well, when you have a car accident, different people have different perspectives on it, so you're not going to get two people saying the same thing. It kind of struck me that what was being said, and maybe I didn't quite get this fully, but that it was as if no two people have the same abduction experience. I don't know if one person was abducted by an alien named Carl, and another person was abducted by an alien named Dave, or what level of correlation that you guys are wanting. But it's been very clear to me in my study of this that a number of experiences are very similar, number one. Number two, there are even instances where people have had the same experience together. In one instance, as I remember, two individuals were abducted and claimed that when they were returned, they were wearing each other's clothes. And this is a phenomenon too. As I had mentioned, I don't know if you had watched the video I made about my own personal abduction experience, but I had an article of clothing or my watch that seemed to be different than it was before. And I explained that in the video. But I wanted to go over, Wiki lists these things. Apparently, these are a list of correlating phenomena. Okay, and it kind of goes through the steps of an abduction experience, and I'm talking specifically here about alien abduction. McKenna talks about other types of encounters with aliens, and I posted some really good and interesting links. And he has my views very much are similar to his, and I almost wanted to go into explaining my model for reality that allows for these different different perceptions and experiences of reality, but I didn't want to bore everybody. I did do something called explaining law of attraction through physics, and I can take that model and basically use it for a lot of other ideas such as this and others. If enough people were to ask me, I might go into that. But right now I want to list these ideas about this procedure primarily. It's kind of like the flow or the game plan of an abduction experience. First, number one is the capture. The abductee is forcibly taken from terrestrial surroundings to an apparent alien spacecraft. 2. Examination and procedures. Invasive physiology and psychological procedures, and on occasion simulated behavioral situations, training and testing, or sexual liaisons. 3. Conference. The abductors communicate with the abductee or direct them to interact with specific individuals for some purpose, apparently being taken around to multiple places inside the ship. I'm sorry, I skipped a line. Let me go back. Conference. The abductees communicate with the abductee or direct them to interact with specific individuals for some purpose. Step 4 is the tour. The abductees are given a tour of their captor's vessel. Though this is disrupted by some researchers who are disputed by some researchers who consider this definition a confabulation of intent when just apparently being taken around to multiple places inside the ship. So there's a discrepancy whether it's a tour or you're just being moved. 5, and this one is important, loss of time. Abductees often rapidly forget the majority of their experience, either as a result of fear, medical intervention, or both. I submit to you that what Wiki is not showing on this, or is not listed in this narrative by apparently folklorist Thomas E. Bullard, the possibility that because you're having a conscious experience that is outside the realm of normal consciousness, a distortion of time is part and parcel of that. Anyone who's studied meditation or have had used psychotropic or entheogenic substances knows that time can be distorted in that fashion. Theophany, coinciding with their immediate return, abductee may have a profound sense of love, a high or mystical experience, accompanied by a feeling of oneness with God, the universe, or their abductors. Whether this is the result of a metaphysical change, Stockholm Syndrome, or prior medical tampering is often not scrutinized by the abductees at the time. And the 8th step is aftermath. Abductee must cope with the psychological, physical, and social effects of the experience. So there is sort of a game plan of sorts, a steps to the process that occur, and the abductee experience at least. And I think it's also important to note that the major ones, the ones that I think are that really mark an extraordinary experience, like the distortion of time, like this I'm not sure if I can pronounce this correctly, but theophany, this mystical experience. I know that when at one point I felt a profound sense of being someplace that I wasn't before. And the sexual as well. These are all elements that when I was in philosophy class, we were taught were part of a religious experience. When you have a religious experience, you have you feel as if you have had a distortion of time. You feel the euphoria. You feel a displacement, as if you've gone to another place oftentimes. And a lot of these same elements of the abduction experience coincide with the elements of a religious experience at the same time. If you follow Deepak Chopra, he makes mention that these elements of a religious experience coincide with the elements of a sexual experience. The euphoria, you can sense a displacement of time at orgasms, some people do. There's a feeling of connection and oneness. A lot of these, and there's more than what I'm listing, but Deepak Chopra does does make a point of that. So what does it mean that the sexual experience, the religious experience, and an alien abduction experience all hold these same factors? It means you're piercing the veil. It means your consciousness is being taken to a level where I believe normal reality is starting to break down, but few people go very far past that. But I just I wanted to explain that there are a lot of similarities in these experiences, and from one alien experience to another. And I'm not really sure where you guys are coming from, saying that there's not correlation. In my study of this, there's a lot of correlation. So, I don't know, maybe we're talking about two different things, but I wanted to add that. And hope you don't mind me horning in on your conversation here. Like I say, I just happened to be thinking along these lines, and this thing happened, and I just would like to contribute. Okay? Peace.